Hello, friends. In this footage, we see the driver of a Ukrainian Iveco Puma 6x6 reconnaissance vehicle. This vehicle was originally designed for the light infantry, airborne, and amphibious regiments of the Italian army, with the mission of transporting a 6-man infantry team, in addition to a 2-person crew with their respective equipment. In the case of the Ukrainian Pumas, they have been equipped with a full anti-drone cage and heavy Browning M2 HB 12.7mm machine guns mounted on a manually operated turret above the commander's position. Italy has quietly transferred Pumas in both 4x4 and 6x6 versions, which have been seen in service with the 81st Airmobile Brigade and the 79th Air Assault Brigade, who use them in position rotation missions and armed reconnaissance. I'm not sure if the driver in the video is actually the one responsible for driving the vehicle in combat, but she seems to be quite familiar with the system, although it wouldn't be unusual since more than 70,000 women serve in the Ukrainian armed forces in different roles, including as drivers. A Ukrainian Mosquito drone is inspecting a drainage pipe under a road behind the front lines to make sure there are no orc nests, but it turns out the invaders have stacked mortar ammunition, which they promptly turn into a fireworks show. You can't leave any hole uninspected because you never know what you might find. An innovation that seems to be spreading is the use of shotgun-equipped hunter mosquito drones, which the defenders of the Minions team use to eliminate the observation and attack drones of the Horde in their sector. This innovation lets you eliminate the invader's eyes without sacrificing one of your own mosquito drones. If you told me 4 years ago I'd be watching videos of Ukrainian drones with shotguns shooting at swarms of Russian drones, I would have laughed. And yet here we are. The defenders are testing a Retel H ground drone to operate as a launch platform for attack mosquito drones guided via fiber optic cable. This integration turns the Retel H into a ground-based aircraft carrier capable of carrying up to 4 mosquitoes into high-risk areas, where it can remain hidden until an intruder appears that needs attention. This allows for attacks with greater autonomy, reducing the exposure of operator teams and lessening the effect of electronic warfare systems that Ivan is so fond of. The first test flights in the combat zone were carried out in February 2026, and starting this month, they are already conducting combat missions, confirmed hits against equipment and soldiers of the Z-Horde. The carrier module is modular, so it can be installed on a standard Retel H without any special modifications, meaning the same chassis can be used for logistics, evacuation, and now for launching air attacks. It basically increases the system's usefulness without extra cost. The 475th Assault Regiment, with the curious name Code 9.2 of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, released a video showing the use of attack mosquitoes equipped with autonomous target acquisition systems, acting against Russian logistical vehicles on the Julia and Pole front. In the footage, we can see how the Mosquito is already in auto mode, confirmed by the target tracking boxes. The red ones perform real-time autonomous tracking of the trucks and tactical vans that are lurking. This technology drastically reduces operator intervention in the terminal phase of the mission, which increases the accuracy and effectiveness of the defenders' attacks on the Z-Horde's supply lines on the southern front. The Code 9.2 regiment evolved from a specialized unmanned observation systems unit into an assault regiment and has established itself as one of Ukraine's most innovative units. The unit regularly participates in mechanized assaults and deep attacks against Russian logistics and radars in the Julia and Pole area. The incorporation of terminal guidance systems with artificial intelligence allows fewer operators to guide and supervise the attack of entire swarms of mosquitoes, which no longer need a pilot for each bird. This will allow increased pressure against Army Group Z's rear areas operating in Zaporilla. On May 12, units of the 24th Mechanized Brigade, in close coordination with the Rayrog unit, launched a precise and devastating attack against a column of infantry from the Horde, which was openly advancing toward Chasiv Yar from the direction of Bakhmut. Reconnaissance quickly detected the group of more than 20 invaders moving without cover along a road, so their operators prepared a warm welcome. Coordinating artillery fire and a swarm of mosquito drones, they managed to neutralize the threat with great effectiveness, once again frustrating another Russian attempt to continue advancing on this axis. The invaders were kind enough to bring their own GoPro cameras, which captured for eternity the last moments of the occupiers under Ukrainian fire. There were no casualties among the defenders, but there was plenty of laughter. This action is a classic example of successful active defense, which includes continuous reconnaissance that generates timely intelligence to call in precise defensive fire against the enemies. This type of combat does not change the strategic balance of the front, but it helps to systematically wear down the assault capabilities of the invaders in the sector. On May 5, 2026, the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces, specifically Deep Strike drone units, they carried out a coordinated series of precision drone raids against Russian logistical command and support targets in the occupied territories of Donetsk, Luhansk, and Zaporizhzhia oblasts, as well as inside Russian territory in Belgorod Oblast. These attacks were carried out immediately before the unilateral ceasefire announced by Ukraine in the context of the Victory Day commemorations in Modular, which was celebrated on May 9. The main targets in Donetsk were ammunition depots, logistics centers, repair bases, a tactical command post, maintenance facilities, and a site for the deployment of Russian drones. The attacks demonstrate Ukraine's ability to strike targets deep in the rear, located more than 100 kilometers from the front line, using locally produced medium-range unmanned systems. The invading Horde's frontline forces rely heavily on forward depots and maintenance centers near the front to sustain their war of attrition offensive in the Donbass. For this reason, strikes on ammunition depots and logistical support centers force them to relocate their supplies farther away, increasing delivery times and exposing their logistics columns. In addition, they have to send frontline resources to defend the rear and rebuild damaged facilities, all of which temporarily reduces the intensity of the invading artillery's firepower, which cannot support their assault infantry attacks. In particular, the destruction of the maintenance base in Mykolaiv will affect the operational availability of tanks, infantry transports, and self-propelled artillery. Meanwhile, the destruction of the command center in Sviatotroitske disrupts the observation, decision, and action cycle of local commanders at the tactical level. If you want more content about the war in Ukraine, visit our 2 new channels where we share information in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1 you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel